Welcome to Veggies and Herbs. I'm Ruben Malale. Now it's October, which means that spring is in full swing here in South Africa. So in today's video, I will walk you through the best summer vegetables that you can sow and plant in this month. So we will be covering leafy greens, root crops, legumes, and fruiting crops. Everything that you need for a diverse and a productive summer garden. So all of that is coming up. Now let's start with the stars of any summer vegetable garden, the fruiting crops. So as you know that I have some tomatoes that I have been growing over the winter. They were volunteers. And I think this month is a perfect time for me to actually transplant them. So I have the trellis here. I have also harvested cauliflower that has been growing in the section of the garden to just make space. So what will be happening from this month onwards is just that many of the winter vegetable or the cool season crops will be replaced by summer crops. So next to this trellis, I will be planting one of these tomatoes. So for me, it's just important that I need to plant this tomato deep. As you can see, it's quite decent size. So this will allow me to actually plant the tomato nice and deep. I will just put some compost at the bottom to provide some food, and then I will keep this watered. But if you haven't started sowing or starting your tomatoes, this is a perfect time actually to either start off with some determinate or indeterminate varieties. We have also seen some crazy weather conditions in KZN where we have seen snow. So I think it will just be a good idea to always have some backup seedlings in the event that we get some crazy cycles like snow or frost in provinces or places that we normally are not accustomed to. So I don't know if we're gonna have any frost in our province, but I will be planting out this tomato, and I will just make sure that I also have some backup in the event something happened to the plants. Then it's a good idea to have some backup. Another fruiting plant that you can also start off is some bell peppers. I do have some bell peppers that have overwintered, so I will just also start off some bell pepper plants this month just for backup. Another fruiting plants will definitely also be some eggplant. Now last month I started some zucchini. So one of the other fruiting plants that I will also be planting out this month is some zucchini. This is the bush variety and it's the golden zucchini variety. So I will harvest the cauliflower, and I will then plant the zucchini plant in this bed just to make sure that I kind of get an early start. Zucchinis, they have big seeds, so you do not have to start them indoors. I just wanted to get a head start. So I was waiting for some crop to finish off on this side. Hence, I thought, let me start it indoors. The spaghetti squash, they've also germinated as well as the tomatoes. So I will allow that to grow on until I have a trellis where I can actually grow this up. But I will share that in future videos. So although we are moving into much warmer months, we can still actually continue to grow some leafy greens. A subscriber wanted to know whether it's advisable to actually grow some leafy greens even during dormant months. Actually, I appreciate the advice that we got from a friend of the channel, Crystal, regarding to how to actually grow leafy greens during the summer. You can actually start plant leafy greens. The idea is just to harvest them as soon as they are a decent size and then do succession planting, which means as soon as you harvest the lettuce or the pak choy, whatever leafy green you want to grow, it's important to then replace it immediately either with another seedling. So I think succession planting will be a great way how you can actually grow some leafy greens. Last month, we saw some baby spinach, arugula, and lettuce in the section of the garden. As you can see, they have germinated quite nicely. So leafy greens can still actually be grown during the warmer months, but I think the best way to avoid a situation where all your leafy greens bald or become better is to approach or implement succession planting. If you want to understand more succession planting, I'll put a video up here where we explained or discuss succession planting. But with leafy greens, you can definitely sow them, but just make sure that you harvest the plants young and tender and replace them immediately with some other plants, just to avoid your lettuce getting better or your plants getting bad. Now, the other leafy greens that are also able to handle warm temperatures will be the Ford Hook Swiss chard variety, as well as kale. So these are the varieties that will be able to withstand some warmer temperatures. Now, when it comes to root crops, last month we planted some carrots, also some beetroot. My turnips, I noted, has not germinated. There might be some issue there, but I'm happy that my carrots actually and the beetroot has germinated. I will just allow them to grow and then turn it out as the season progresses. But if you want to still plant some root crops, now is the perfect time also to sow either your carrots. Ensure that you sow turnips or carrots, whatever leafy green root crop you want to plant. Just make sure that you keep the area moist to ensure that your seed actually germinate. And similarly with leafy greens and your root crops, is just to ensure that you keep them moist, provide them sufficient water, especially as the temperatures will be rising as the season progresses. So with the legumes and beans, last month we transplanted some marana beans, so it's a perfect time actually to sow some marana beans as they are heat-loving crops. But if you have a limited space, you can always ensure that you use some structure. I'm using some canes to allow the marana beans to grow up, but you can also grow bush beans. I'm planning to actually grow the purple, the green, and the yellow bush bean variety in this container. So that is my plan for when it comes to legumes. So marana beans, they are germinated, they are growing, starting quite nicely. And I'm also sowing this month some bush beans. Once I've harvested all my onions and the brassicas in this bed, my plan is to grow quite a lot of beans for their seed, for dry beans. So I will looking forward to share that with you. But this month we are planting some bush beans in this container. But it's also October is a perfect month for you to actually plant out some banana beans if that is some of the crops that you are interested in. Now, when it comes to tubers, sweet potatoes are definitely one of the tubers that you can also start off in October. If you remember, after I harvested my sweet potatoes, I also took some slopes. They have been growing quite nicely over the winter months. You can still actually start growing your slopes. As I've explained previously, the method that I use is just to take a container, take a good quality sweet potato, put some compost or potting mix, and then place the sweet potato, and then your slopes will develop and you'll have slopes throughout the growing season. And the reason why I like this is that you'll already have the roots that has developed. For techniques on how to maximize your limited space, click on this video, and I'm looking forward to see you in the next video. Keep on sowing and grow. Peace.